Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Brian, and I'm the CMO of Cambrian. Today, you're joining us for the next episode of Agentify Academy, where we're learning all about the cool projects cooking up great use cases in agentic finance. And if you're unfamiliar with that term, we'll break it down in just a moment. If you're joining us for the very first time, I'll tell you a little bit about Cambrian in a few words. Cambrian is the financial intelligence layer of DeFi. We take real time and historical blockchain data and transform it into financial intelligence. Because in a world of increasingly automated finance, the best intelligence leads to the best decisions. Today, we're exploring the following question: can AI agents really win trades in DeFi? And what separates lasting projects from the short term hype we see all the time on X? So let's get today's show going with a couple of intros. We'll start on the Cambrian side before moving to our guests of honor at Codex. I'll pass along the mic to Sam just to start on our side.
Hey everybody, I'm the CEO of Cambrian. I have a background. I've been working in crypto since 21. Um, Prior to that, I worked in cryptography at the National Labs, and I got a PhD focused in reinforcement learning. And now I believe that the best use for blockchain technology is for financial activity. And so, yeah, that's what we're focused on at Cambrian. Like Brian said, we're focused on basically monitoring financial information needed for financial decision making within blockchains. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be talking with Justin and Steven today because these guys have been building in this space for a long time, and I'm excited to hear more about Codex and also learn about what led to the creation of Codex.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. Ari, you want to give us a few words on your end?
Yeah, I'm Ari. I'm a contributor and advisor to Cambrian, helping the team with everything the merge of crypto and AI. I was part of the Graph protocol for many years as a protocol engineer and then as a VP of engineering at Node. And we dealt with a lot of data issues in blockchain, which is quite hard. And now there's these merge with agents that require information to make good decisions. So super excited about the work that Cameron is doing.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And now for the guests of honor at Codex, Justin, Stephen, let's hear from you. Why don't we start with Justin?
Sure. Yeah. Hi, I'm Justin. I've been building in the space since 2020. Some of you may know me from our DeFi escapades on Phantom and other networks, where we managed hundreds of millions and advised many billions. And yeah, we've been building what is now Codex, but really our stack of AI technology since 2022, and have taken a long, winding road to get where we are today. But all of it kind of influenced by your feedback and user feedback. So happy to kind of talk about some of those learnings here.
Thank you, Justin. And Stephen, you want to share some on your background?
Hey, Steven here. I've been also in crypto since 2021. Started mostly as a kind of a creative person because my background spans in music and music for film and media. Got into NFTs as I was naturally doing that with a few friends and composing music for them. Then turned to marketing and then fell in love with Codex and then transitioned to product management for Codex now, which I'm currently doing.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, yeah, thank you, all of you. So yeah, I think we can start digging into the meat of the show. So today's live stream is part of an ongoing series where we're breaking down agentic finance, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. Actually, if you guys haven't, for those of you watching, if you haven't seen this before, I do recommend going to cambrian.org/blog. We've been publishing quarterly reports on projects like Codex that have been performing legitimate and interesting activity in this flavor of crypto over the past year or so. So I encourage you guys to take a look. And just a little teaser, we do have a new edition coming out quite soon. So stay tuned. So, on this episode, we are giving Codex an opportunity to share about where they fit into the agentic finance landscape. But just for the uninitiated watching, on the team, on the Cambrian team, give us a quick breakdown of what agentic finance is. Sam, do you want to expand on maybe what you started saying a little bit earlier?
Yeah, of course. So, um, at a high level, agentic finance is anything that's doing automated financial decision making. And, what's going on now today is really an evolution or an extension of basically what's been happening for a couple of decades, starting in traditional finance with algorithmic trading. And now what is happening is we have this convergence between traditional methods that are still tried and true based on well-known techniques for uh, algorithmic decision making, algorithmic finance, and AI. And so right now, this is a very exciting space as the world tries to understand um, what works well and what people are excited about versus what works well, and how that's changing from day to day, from month to month. So yeah, automated decision making. Agentic finance boils down to automated decision making for financial activity.
Thank you, Sam. All right, do you want to add anything to that? Maybe talk about the growing popularity or how it's evolved, like in the past year. Your thoughts on
Sorry.
agentic finance? Do you want to add any thoughts on how you interpret agentic finance, and maybe any thoughts on its growing popularity?
Yeah.
Or
What I see about agents in general is that it's starting to grow, particularly as we all know with code. Every developer out there is coding with agents, and that's very obvious. But more and more economic activities will start being done by agents. And there are some very important activities, which basically financial activities that was it was managed by well advisors, was managed by people that had access to a system, which today, I think with intelligence being spread out across the whole society by having access to LLMs, it will be available for everyone to use. But at the same time, it's like if you have an agent, you want to have this agent to make good decisions. One of the big problems with LLMs is the grounding of those decisions. Like they are very smart, but sometimes they make decisions based on old data, stale data, something that is wrong. So we all know that, and it's also happening with coding. So verifiability is super important. As long as you can give the agents good information, they will make good decisions. So that's why I see that Cambrian is playing this role in giving these agents like super abilities, right? Even if they're smart, they need good data.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Ariel. Well, I think we can now give an opportunity for our guest Justin to talk about how he's personally accelerating agentic finance with Cod3x. I'd love to hear some of the lore, the story of how Cod3x came to be, what you guys are focusing on, and maybe we can see a little demo.
Sure, yeah. I'll try to speed run this a little bit. So we managed yield vault products in 2021. It was an enormous business for us. It was our only business line. It was humongous. And in 2022, it kind of collapsed with the major credit crunch, credit crisis in Web3 with Genesis and 3AC and Luna and all those guys. Revenues down 95%. And so, we were like, all right, we've made all this money. We have this community. We really love the technology. Let's keep investing and figure out how to make things work. And so the idea was pretty simple to start. It was a vault and a strategy costs about 150 grand all up to produce if it's remotely novel. Even if it's just forked, it's very time and cost intensive. And so we were building on the Phantom blockchain, and our team, our obsession was with fast blockchains, like how fast and how cheap would these things get? We knew block space was becoming a commodity. Unfortunately, we were way too ahead of our time. But the idea was basically like, let's hook an ML strategy into the back of a wallet everybody will have their own little agentic wallet, and they would be able to putz around with these ML strategies and do anything that one of our vaults would be able to do. And so, back then we were called Moon, use Moon.ai, and we had some cool partners, but the need for the agentic wallet that we created ended up being mostly in the world of gaming, and they weren't really high-paying customers. And so we were like, okay, we kind of need to hard carry this ourselves. And so, in late 2023, we started building Codex. We announced it in early 2024 at Consensus Austin. And then we've just been building ever since and iterating on the concept until we get to today, where Codex is essentially a prop trading engine with kind of an inference layer, an agentic harness on top. And so our agents are basically using that trading engine to trigger inference and make trades. And that's really exciting to us because, as you guys kind of alluded to, execution isn't going to move away from traditional ML and traditional algorithms. Brokers have this figured out. But what AI is really good at is it's good at taking a step back and taking on the role of the risk manager, the role of the algorithm maintainer. If you've ever done algo trading, alpha decay, in minutes, you're scratching your head wondering why your back tests aren't working anymore. And so what we do is we kind of turn up the heat and we add a little bit of the probabilism, we add a little bit of the intelligence, and that allows us to, right now most of our users are doing low frequency trading strategies, being like making a few trades a day, and certainly a lot better than the average day trader. And really the implications are vast. The thing about day trading is it's extremely hard to do successfully, but it is so wide in scope. The breadth of the data we're collecting, the errors we're collecting, every kind of constraint violation just becomes signal when we're actually training these models and trying to do post-training in RL. And so the idea is, we just go after the hardest thing, farm all the mistakes, farm all the errors in training and use that to make a better model and a better harness. And so we've been doing that explicitly for the past 6 months and making a lot of progress, and there's a long way to go.
Justin, I have two questions for you. One goes back to earlier. You guys were early adopters of using basically natural language to capture user intent, and then you switched to a more template-based UX for your users to let them just have more control. Can you but LLMs have come a long way now since you guys were early adopters. So can you tell me how, like, I understand why you made that first decision, and I'm curious if you're reconsidering now a change now that we have
Sure.
better models.
Yeah, so the templates are really just to solve the cold start problem. Almost every single user modifies their template once they get in the mix, and a
Sorry,
lot of them totally throw them out.
Justin,
Sure.
maybe
Yeah.
would you mind introducing what the templates are? I know we'll
Oh,
see a
yeah,
product
yeah.
shortly, but maybe you could for
Maybe
the listeners.
if Steven wants to fire up the product demo while I talk, we can, uh, double team this.
Cool.
Essentially, when a user
Sounds good to me.
onboards, originally, so we moved away from pure intent solving. If you want to go to the onboarding section, Steven, we moved away from pure intent solving because, frankly, it's a lot easier to just press some buttons than talk to a chatbot in a lot of ways. Where chatbots come in handy is when they're handling really complex actions or automations. But we found most of our serviceable, obtainable market was fine just swapping between browser pages and using their Rabby to withdraw and whatever. And frankly, it was faster for all of them. And so getting to the point, we've scaled a yield business before. You need hundreds of millions of dollars under management. And we were like, okay, like we're not going to make this happen. And so for us, it was like, with leverage, the value at risk is low, or with perps trading, because, you can do $10,000 of notional size with $1,000 of principal. And so there was meat on the bone for us business-wise. And then as well, there was a lot of demand. It was trendy. And, we haven't really looked back since. And one of the difficult things is we try to market toward intermediate to advanced traders. We try to not baby people because trading is brutal. It doesn't matter if you have AGI behind you, you're still going to get, totally annihilated by insiders. And so, unfortunately, beginners couldn't resist. And even intermediate traders wanted help with a bouncing off point. So we essentially start your journey with a template where you look at all these different prefab agents. You click on each of these templates is just an agent. And the second you click on one, and the second it starts trading, it starts customizing itself to your needs. And we have the chat interface, and every user, once they've done it a few days, they start getting opinionated, and then they start chatting with the agent. And every single function on this website is a tool. So this is a purely agentic platform. And so by interacting with the chat, you can tell your agent, update yourself, do this, I'm getting chopped out, look for more validation on entry. My fills are really bad on my stop losses. This is personal experience. Just ignore stop losses now. Hyperliquid is just going to beat me down anyway, anytime there's volatility, which, it is what it is. And so that's how users use the platform. And so we kind of give them this prefab agent. It's like you go to the store, you buy your hobby kit, your baseline mod kit. And then once you get into the chat, you start tooling around with it and playing around with it. And so every user's agent diverges from the template. And, one of the big things that we're excited about doing is we've got an enormous update coming in a couple weeks here. And users are going to be able to create and sell their own templates. And so every new user going through the platform is not only going to see your template potentially, but it's also going to see the performance and your reputation because we're going to be running contests. And so templates for us are the ultimate baseline, and we're going to have a whole value sharing system, ecosystem, whatever. Not going to get too into it because it'll be like an hour. But Stephen, do you want to share some of your insight on the terminal and your experience with new users?
Sure. Yeah. So as Justin said, we had this problem to solve where beginners, which really wanted to use our product, had the cold start problem, and then intermediate traders that haven't really used AI that much and didn't know how to prompt AI that well as well. So the way we solved it for both for now is with the templates that we just shown. We kind of get you into this template mode, and we will add like an advanced create your own agent down the line as well. But for now, we encourage our most advanced or intermediate traders to start from a template, go into your agent, and it's really, really easy to work with it afterwards. As Justin said, everything is a tool in Codex. So I can just tell my chat, hey, update your strategy for a better return. So if my returns are bad, which they haven't been really, they've been pretty good on this regime switcher agent, it will update it. We also have like a full trading journal suite where it logs every trade that it took or it didn't take, because it's really easy to debug with Codex. It's like weights on a model, because we present everything that the agent actually thought. We used to run mostly chain of thought, but now we're encouraging our users to do graph of thought, because we have every node in here. We have every every step of the way explained, and then in the last step, the agent actually tells you exactly what happened, what I did, what I was about to do. Maybe if we had a trade, and all of that gets logged into the memory and into the trading journal. And then the next time, every run that the agent makes, either through chat or through the tasks or the goals, what we call them. Goals are like basically also natural language prompts, which are triggered by algorithmic style triggers. You can add like HMA triggers, MACD, MACD, RSI, and whenever the agent, whenever that happens in the market, your goal or your task gets run in context together with your trading strategy. So it's so much smarter than a bot, like an algo style bot, because those are with prefab rules. They're like only looking forward, whereas this agentic AI interface gets to think about everything that's happening in the market along the way, and it tells you everything that happened, logs it for you, and then in the next run, this gets also shown into context. So it's kind of evolving along the way as we go.
What model or models are you guys using under the hood?
Right now, we used to have every model on OpenRouter, so we had hundreds and hundreds of models. But now we're kind of distilling it down to the models that work the most. What we recommend to users is Sonnet 4.5 up to now, and now that Sonnet 4.6 came out, we're testing it as of today. We've already implemented, as you can see. We've also got Opus. We've got all
Is
the
he on
OpenAI
robot mode
models.
for you guys right now? We used to just list everything on OpenRouter. People would get too experimental and waste credits on models that absolutely are useless. Well, I'm not going to get into it, but now we're trying to steer people toward Haiku, Sonnet, 4.1 Mini, 4.1, and then a little bit of Grok. Kimi K2 Thinking we think is really great, but for some reason it can't size trades. So it yeets the whole portfolio into a good strategy, but you need to be very careful. So I mean, there's a lot of misbehavior that we need to train out of these models. But I would say at the baseline, really, you can think of it like, we have the trading engine, which exists to narrow the scope for the agent into things that we market states that we know are pretty good risk reward. And then the agent runs the inference on top. And so really what you're getting is you're getting a smart algo or algo inspired strategy. And that we find is really good for the low frequency stuff. And then on mid frequency and obviously high frequency trading, it's that's when you start running into latency issues. That's when you start having, I would say just general technical problems with the models. They're just not really designed for that speed. And so maybe eventually they will be, but I think we've got a long way to go on both the hardware and the software side. But I would say the applications, you can probably intuit are very vast. Just on the, how many humans are behind a computer in the finance industry that need to make adjustments a couple times an hour or less frequently than that. And so there's a lot of space for us to disrupt.
Brian, I know that Brian wants to move ahead, but I have two quick questions. One, as you guys know, I just funded my Cod3x account, and I'm going to do some trading on Cod3x. Could you recommend a template and a model to start with?
In a choppy market, what do you think, Stephen? The masochist
In a choppy market,
template?
I would recommend the RSI agent right now.
Okay.
I think that's going to yield the best results.
Okay.
Before this, when we were in a downtrend, the regime switcher was a beast of a template, and it returned.
Dude, people were printing money, but
revering.
It's all in the trade, the environments where a professional trader would have a lot of fun, your agent will have a lot of fun. And in the choppy markets, it's you will get chopped sometimes. And so the story, I think, at least my cope, whenever my agent loses money is that one, you're not going to lose as much because your risk is very well managed. But two, you'll be exposed once things actually start moving. And typically we find our agents tend to be on the right side of a trade when the volatility starts, which is very nice. That's my cope whenever my agent loses money.
I would still recommend the regime switcher because it's supposed to detect regime and for the long-term horizon, because it's detecting what kind of regime you are and then trading based along that. And for a model, as you asked, Sam, I would say Sonnet 4.5, and I would probably recommend 4.6 as well right now because I've been testing it today and it has been pretty great.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I had one other, this is a Cambrian related question. So I'm curious if you could tell us a little bit about your data infrastructure and the lessons that you've learned about managing data for your system.
Yeah, I mean, one of the bigger headaches frequently luckily we made the decision that we were just going to stick to Hyperliquid and not play the horizontal airdrop farming game, which tends to kill a lot of teams just because it seems easy on the surface. You're like, oh, I have these smart abstractions. I'm using substitution principles. It'll be easy. And then once you get down into it, you get chopped up on the implementation side. You don't even need to enter the markets. But on the data side, right now, we rely very heavily on the Hyperliquid WebSocket. We run headfirst into issues with rate limiting all the time. Liability, sometimes we run into issues with. We constantly find ourselves, doing backflips, trying to resolve the various problems because, a lot of these APIs aren't designed to serve enterprise scale platforms. And we've been growing so quickly that it's like, oh my God, it's a new headache every other week. Otherwise, for all of our like agent data, we do have a lot of like vertically integrated solutions. And we just use Postgres, and a vectorized like Neon database where applicable. So we're not really doing anything that special. And honestly, like we've been kind of waiting for data solutions to get a little bit more mature before we start really optimizing. And one thing that we found in talking to AI labs about some of our data is that, making sure the prices are verified, making sure they're accurate, making sure that everything, properly mimics market state is really, really valuable because imagine you're doing a training run, and what's supposed to be the source of truth, the scenario or the episode you're training on, ends up having some incorrect data and you train on incorrect data. And so we've been thinking really hard about how to ensure accuracy, how to ensure reliability, how to ensure speed. That's kind of why we're always in your DMs. We're like, okay, Cambrian is solving all these problems that we don't want to solve. So yeah, I mean, it's just a mishmash of infrastructure at the moment. Some of it in-house, some of it anything we use externally, we end up having to jerry-rig a solution to solve all of its problems anyway. So there's nothing perfect out there.
Well, thank you, Justin, for outlining how crazy and messy the data problem is in
Yeah.
this slice of DeFi. And agents, that's their life fuel, data. You can only make the best decisions if you have the best inputs.
And
So yeah, appreciate you
I'll say as
guys.
well, my quick data shill is like the fact that you guys are working on intelligent data means that we don't have to spend a bunch of our context computing a bunch of stuff. Anyway, and you guys would probably be much better at computing this stuff or using traditional infra than our precious agents. So it also saves us from context rot. It increases the overall intelligence level when we're running this inference. And so it is like really vital. The more abstract we can get, the better, so long as we have like, the source of truth behind all the abstractions.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Justin. Well, as we near towards the end of our show, I do want to spend a couple minutes looking ahead to the future. So curious to get some of your opinions on what we can expect out of agentic finance in, say, the next 12 months. And I do want to add, I feel like a lot of people's exposure to agents today, even though this conversation has kind of, Sam alluded to earlier, like that conversation kind of started late 2024. 2025
Yeah.
is really where we saw agents mature. But like now a lot of people are hearing about it for the first time with like, Multibot, OpenClaw. So, I think I want to get a better picture of, what's actually here to stay, what's kind of just like short-term hype. So yeah,
Yeah.
what does the future look like, you guys?
Yeah. If you ever search my tweets for any mentions of Q1, I have this eternal Q1 AI cope is what I call it. Wherein, every Q1 budgets renew. Anytime budgets renew, liquidity gets shuffled around. And anytime liquidity gets shuffled around, people get really excited about stuff. And in AI, where the churn rate is so high, but everybody's equally desperate to find the solution that works for them, the liquidity is just reshuffling into different parts of the industry. Big players are closing big rounds. The excitement and hype is always at an all-time high in Q1 because, this stuff is seeping into everywhere. And so I think a lot of what we're seeing right now, I mean, OpenClaw is cool, but it's like every Q1 there's a slop wave. We saw it Q1 2025, we saw it Q1 2024, and the thing is, it's just the slop will wash away, and people will need to get serious and be like, okay, what's real, what's not. And for us, I think it's still very early, and I think any serious person would agree. We have years to go on this stuff, and obviously, like, we're hanging our hat on post training and RL, and we see a world where, okay, we've made all these amazing breakthroughs and created trillions of dollars of value in these pre-training paradigms. Now we're starting to figure out how to scale post-training to the same level, and where are the trillions of dollars of value going to come in this new paradigm? And so, really, we're just looking at this year as one where we're going to figure a lot of stuff out about how to scale post-training. And so these agents are going to get a lot more useful. These agents are going to be able to apply their intelligence to our lives instead of just be chatbots. And I think OpenClaw is a good starting gun. It may not be like the ultimate dream technology that some more technical people might have been hoping for, but it is something that's inspiring in the same way that all the AI agents in early 2025 were inspiring to a lot of people. And a lot of those people are going to start building in AI and discovering these solutions and, giving us more to feed on as we kind of build out the market. So, the future is going to be long. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be boring at times, especially Q3, Q4 while we wait for the next Q1. But I think for us, our entire history has been a game of patience and of a love of the technology and an addiction to the pain and suffering that comes with, going after tough problems. But yeah, I guess, Stephen, did you have any long-term vision?
I would refer to what you said, but mostly I think the same thing. As these models gets better, it's only going to get better for us as well, for agentic finance as well. As the reasoning gets better, as the context window gets bigger, maybe like working memory also will kind of solve some of the problems as well. We'll see. I mean, there's so many branches to go off right now, and we're still yet to see which is the best one. But we're
And
just
it's
gonna
not
keep
anywhere
grinding
near
and see what happens.
saturated. It's like
Yeah.
there's so much greenfield in AI. Everybody's like, oh, there's trillions of dollars. There's nothing for me to do. It's like there's so much to do. Get to work, please. We need you.
Nice. Well, thank you guys for sharing that. I want to give
Yeah.
Ari an opportunity to jump in here.
Yeah, related to OpenClaw, which is I think it's like the newest slop wave, as you mentioned. It's I think that there's kind of some resemblance with crypto in a way, like you have these waves of adoption that some people get burned. It happened with OpenClaw and security and all that. But at the same time, it shows you what can be done. It's like for the first time with OpenClaw, I saw people say, "Oh, an agent can do all of this for me." Wow!
Yeah.
And eventually, that will get to finance. And as you say, like with finance, it should be probably more boring because like there's like a high stake decisions that the agent needs to do, and also like protection of the funds and all that. But I see it's like the first very early operating system for agents. It's like you have the core, which is the LLM that clearly you can swap, and it's like a kind of a CPU that can do a lot of things. But then it's like how you connect this LLM to multiple things. I think OpenClaw is the first one to show, wow, it can be connected to 100 things. It can do a lot of things for you and give you a lot of ideas for people to start building on top of that.
Totally.
I think it's amazing. It's not going to be the last one. Probably there will be many iterations. Some of them will be more, as you said, boring and more useful and more protected and more secure. But for me, it was amazing to see, right? Like Oh yeah. People saying, okay, I did this iteration and solved this problem for me. These other iterations is kind of a Linux of agents, which was very amazing to see.
Totally.
Thank you. Thank you, Ari. Yeah. I want to give Sam an opportunity to chime in as well, and then we'll move to closing remarks, guys. But let's hear from Sam.
Well, I don't have much to add to that. I agree as all with what has been said. That was pretty comprehensive around what's coming next.
All right. Well, thank you, guys.
Mission accomplished.
It's nice one, guys. It's been a pleasure having you guys and learning all about Codex and agentic finance. I think just so our audience knows, we're to keep following the story, the evolution of agentic finance and what you guys are shipping next. I mean, I'll start with Cambrian. You guys can follow us here on X at Cambrian Network, and also go to Cambrian.org so you can see the next edition of the agentic finance landscape coming up soon. Stephen or Justin, you guys want to share best place to follow you guys?
Sure. So
Yeah.
you can follow us. Oh, you go ahead, Stephen.
No, that's all right. Go ahead. I was gonna say on Twitter at Codex with a 3, Cod3x org, and the website is also cod3x.org as well. The app directly is app.codex, app.codex.org as well. So
With a 3,
we're over there.
COD3X.
With a 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And I'll just briefly show our guest handles today. So starting with Justin, I'm showing this on screen. We have 0xbevis _ Stevens at Stephen Vinyl. You can follow Sam at 0x Sam Green and Ari at A Barmat. So thank you, everybody, for today's show. Looking forward to a future episode together. Thanks, everyone, for joining the stream today.
Thanks, Brian.
Awesome.
Whoa,
Thank you
nice.
as well.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.